Rolling in my Yoda, surrounded by a dozen. I'm about to rim up. Tip my windows, throw my system in it, hitting from the subs to the clubs. Don't grill, you ain't Paul Wall. What you think we here for? They ain't call y'all. It's our run, we came to ball. We on the court, best believe we gonna score. We gonna change some things. Take back the neighborhoods and invest some change. We got shooters everywhere that are blasting things. We'd rather get blown like Snoop or Pharrell. Cha-ching and stay high as a kite, fly as a dove. High as a kite, fly as a dove. High as a kite, fly as a dove. Rockin' with my nigga Fifth. High as a kite, fly as a dove. High as a kite, fly as a dove. High as a kite, fly as a dove. Rockin' with my nigga Fifth.
Welcome back to the show. Man Talk Monday. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Baller Award to the Philadelphia. I don't even know what you call it. I guess Baller Award to the city of Philadelphia. And I said this last week. I don't think I've ever given anything positive to the city of Philadelphia, man. They did the draft real big. Wow. How do you follow that up? How do you follow that up? On a school night, on Thursday night, they said they had 100,000 people down there. And a lot of times they exaggerate on these numbers when you're talking about crowd size. I don't think they exaggerated at all. Like Philadelphia did it real big. So they started changing the venue a couple of years ago. And I think they had it in Chicago once. They may have even had it in Chicago twice. And this year they moved it to Philadelphia. If you're the next city, like how do you top that for a draft on a Thursday night on a school night? Wow. They did it real big. Speaking of a school night, so I told y'all this past weekend, my daughter had her pageant that she was in. She was in the Miss Omega pageant at the University of West Georgia. They didn't start the event till 8 o'clock last night. And so me and the wife and the little kid, the LOP, we went down to Carrollton, Georgia, man. And Kayla came in third place. She didn't win, but she came in third place. Yeah. But she did. She actually got a little tiara, a little crown. She's part of the Miss Omega court, I guess. So she actually came in third. I think they called her Miss Gold, and the second person was Miss Purple, and the winner was Miss Omega Psi-Phi. And so she came in third place, man. She did a great job. Kayla's kind of reserved and quiet, so it's a little bit outside of the norm for her. But, man, she looked real good last night. I took some pictures, and I'll post some up on social media here at some point probably today. But she did a fantastic job. Very, very proud of her, man. Very proud of K-Boogie. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. We didn't get back to the house till like 11:30 last night. Thing kind of dragged out a little bit, but it was real good. Shouts out to the bros, Kappa Kappa chapter of Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the young bros there at the University of West Georgia. Great job to the Qs. But once again, the draft this weekend, man, the New England Patriots select Derek Rivers, outside linebacker, Youngstown State, pick number 83. The Patriots had only 4 draft picks. That's the way the story reads. But don't forget, they traded picks to get veterans such as Brandon Cooks, Coney Ealan, Dwayne Allen as well. They traded away Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins in a matter of 7 months last year. So outside linebacker was easily the biggest need entering the draft. The story says Rivers is a perfect fit for the Patriots culture. He has no off-the-field baggage, loves the game, and is a vocal leader in the locker room. He comes with loads of athletic upside, too, after dominating small school competition. 52 tackles for loss, 38 sacks, and putting on a show in the NFL Combine. Top 5 results among defensive linemen in the 40, bench press, vertical jump, and three-cone drill. Well, if that was the case, man, why didn't he go higher? Huh? Oh, man. If that's the case, why didn't he go higher? And I know what it is, man. He went to a small school, and they really ding you for that, man. I didn't realize how much they ding you because I looked at they drafted several defensive ends before they drafted Derek, and I had been paying attention to these guys. I mentioned this last week. I've been paying attention to these defensive ends, these rush edge pass rushers. And, like, there weren't too many guys that I thought were better than Derek. Not only that, but based on his numbers, his stats, and what he did at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine. So they took a lot of cats, like the cat from I'll talk about him here in a second. The dude from Tennessee, man. Several defensive ends that went way before him, man. That went very, very early. And I was like, man, I don't see it in these kids. But it is what it is, and he is the first pick for the Patriots in the 4th round. So great job by him once again. Very, 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 very proud. The Atlanta Falcons, man, top needs. Obviously, they needed defensive backs. They need defensive ends. They needed a guard. And we talked about this on Friday. But Tack McKinley, now added with Vic Beasley on the edge, is going to be hell for quarterbacks. Once again, I like Derek better than Tack McKinley. But that's just me, and I guess I'm biased probably. I'm probably biased. But Vic Beasley last year, man, had 15.5 sacks. Now you add this kid, McKinley, who's basically the same body type, the same shape, the way they go after the quarterback with reckless abandon, man. He's had some little injury issues, but if he's got that under control, man, they're saying that him and Vic Beasley, man, are going to be a dynamic team and going after the quarterback. That's one thing that was very evident in the Super Bowl is that when the Falcons needed a big play and they needed to get Tom Brady, they couldn't do it. It's almost like Vic Beasley kind of ran out of gas. They ran so many plays that night that Vic Beasley in the third, fourth quarter, man, late in the third, fourth quarter, was, missing in action. And so this is a Dan Quinn pick. This is a Dan Quinn pick. If you saw this kid and all of the emotion and the personality and the screaming and the cussing, which they're trying to determine whether the NFL and Roger Goodell are going to find this guy. But, he hadn't signed to the league yet. But he, in the post-draft, or once he was drafted, the post-draft interview, dude was cussing up a storm. And I like that. I like that type of attitude and that swag or whatever. But as I said last week on Friday when it happened, like Rich McKay and Arthur Blank would have never drafted a player like that back in the day before Dan Quinn got here. So I like the kid. I like the attitude. You can't have a football team with a bunch of quiet boys. You want a guy that doesn't have a record and hadn't done any stupid stuff in the past. But you need crazy dudes like this. Like this dude got like a Lawrence Taylor type mentality. Go after him like crazed dogs, screaming, cussing, and spitting all over the place. I like it. I like the Tack McKinley pick. Yeah. The Falcons also traded out of the second round, picking up 2 fifth-round picks to drop 12 spots into the third round. The pick was Duke Riley, who actually replaced Deion Jones at LSU, the rookie linebacker the Falcons had last year that balled out of control. So they're bringing another LSU player. A lot of times these coaches and these organizations like the culture of a team, a college team, and so they'll get multiple players. Yeah, you can't go wrong with getting a guy to replace Deion Jones. And you know what Deion Jones has brought to your organization. You know the type of scheme that they ran down there at LSU. Defensively, LSU was kept in a lot of games by the defense the last couple of years. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So great players. They always, recruit 4 or 5-star defensive players, man, over the years. And so this Duke Riley kid should come in and fit very nicely with the balls to the wall, attacking style scheme that Dan Quinn, that defense employs. So Takk McKinley, first pick, number 26 in the first round out of UCLA. Duke Riley, third-round pick, inside linebacker LSU. Sean Harlow, offensive tackle, Oregon State, in the fourth round. DeMonte Kaiser, I can't even pronounce that kid's name, but a lot of people, Kuiper was real strong on this guy. The defensive back kid had a lot of interceptions, man. 5'10", 184 pounds. Had 15 interceptions over the past 2 seasons, so they're calling him a ball hawk. Then the Falcons take Brian Hill, a running back out of Wyoming. Don't know a damn thing about him in the 5th round at 156. And Eric Sauber, tight end, with the 5th round, 174 out of Drake. So Falcons, man, most people I've seen giving the Falcons like a grade of B or B plus even. And Dan Quinn continues to do what he does, fortifies that defense. We're going to get after you on defense, bottom line. And he knows the style players that are best for his system once again, and what they had great success for or with out there in Seattle. And so Falcons overall seems like a good draft. My big winner over the weekend, though, man, was the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. Not even close. So, John Lynch, now the new GM of the San Francisco 49ers, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. John Lynch, in his first draft as the GM of the 49ers, moves back. He basically, throws the wool over the eyes of the Chicago Bears, moves back where the Bears can go ahead and draft Mitchell Trubisky, and they add picks. And they ultimately end up getting Solomon Thomas, the defensive tackle out of Stanford. And then somehow, Reuben Foster falls, and the San Francisco 49ers pick him up as well. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I mean, you talking about rebuilding your defense? Like, both of those guys are seems like they could be kind of like franchise type defensive players. You can kind of project them out to be franchise type defensive players. This Solomon Thomas kid, who I continue to compare kind of like a poor man's, not that poor, but a poor man's Ndamukong Suh, Donkey Kong Suh, and Reuben Foster. I made the comparison. Somebody else made the comparison this weekend. They must have been listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I made the comparison that this Foster kid kind of reminds me of Ray Lewis. And even to another degree, he kind of reminds me of Derek Brooks. Not the big, tall linebacker like Brian Urlacher or anybody like that, but just, a tackle machine. Like, he's going to be a guy that's going to get you double-digit tackles pretty much every game. Sideline to sideline speed, man. He fell down late in the first round. 49ers came off like bandits. Ball award to them. Yeah. They came off like bandits. Another team that I thought did very, very good as well, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers come away with O.J. Howard, man, the tight end out of Alabama. That was kind of like the big pick. But when you think about what they got now and what they've surrounded Jameis Winston with, unbelievable. They also take Chris Godwin in the 3rd round, wide receiver out of Penn State. So they bring in O.J. Howard, who a lot of people felt were like a top 5 talent at 19, tight end out of Alabama. And they also bring in Chris Godwin, wide receiver out of Penn State, 4.42 in the 40, 6'1", 209 pounds. Did big things at the combine. But you add Godwin, O.J. Howard,